It says we're live. It says we're live. So we're here once again, ladies and gentlemen. Only Crons podcast, video cast, whatever you want to call it. Episode 4. We're here with myself and these three other beautiful gents. We got Daniel in the house, keeping things classy with his margarita tonight, but it isn't a Moscow Mule glass, so don't let it fool you. But I did make sure to ask him it had tahini in it. And then we got Steven here. Celebrating anniversary last week, and then he thought that wasn't enough celebration, so he's like, why don't I just celebrate my birthday this week? So happy birthday to you, man.
That's how it works.
And then we got Ulyss, man. Like, you know, Ulyss is just Ulyss. You just can't love the guy. You just always love the guy. So good to have you guys
Did you
back.
get rid of your curtains, Ulyss?
Dude, the curtains. Dude, the curtains provide the perfect like framing for his head, man. It's
I like that tree behind him, man. I haven't seen that before.
It gives depth.
Hey, wait till I get back. Hey, wait till I get back to Norway, then you guys will really be talking.
Hey, yo, who's that person behind you, Ulyss?
Just staring.
I'm done.
So yeah, this episode, we got some tourneys coming up this weekend. I know Daniel's got a team tournament. ATC tournament coming up this weekend.
First real event of the. I guess we could call Carolina that, but the first event I care about because it's in Tampa. It's less of a drive. So
yeah, that's always nice. We're in the complete opposite because my tournament GT this weekend, trying to go for a golden ticket. We'll see if we can do it, boys. And
nice,
that one's like a 3.5-4 hour drive out in Pendleton. So did that tournament last year, was a blast, very well organized, good TOs, all that stuff. So very excited to be back with the with myself and the team, which is probably like twice as big now. I think we have like 11 people from our team going, which is like super cool. So that'll be really fun as well. But yeah, so I figured we talk about kind of our tournament prep, I guess, what we're running, why we're running it, go over some like community questions you guys posted in the YouTube section, and then also maybe towards the end talk about some World Eater stuff now that it's official, maybe some Death Guard stuff
or Death Guard,
yeah, and what we're thinking, how to maybe counter it if we can't even counter it. But I don't know, man. Who wants to start off? You want to start off, Daniel? Thoughts on?
Yeah, I mean, for prep, we've just kind of been playing each other pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Got to play against Steven. That was Ultramarines though, so it wasn't really a real. I'm a trader, but it was good practice because we have this stat check league we're doing, so good to get a little practice game there. And then I played Ulyss with my Warrior Brick list. We decided to call it before we could find out the real victor because we didn't want to burn friendships. But I saw the power in the monoliths build, and he saw the power in the warriors, so it worked out. We saw what we needed to do, and then all three of us are in this tactical tortoise GT, and we all took dubs. I won't speak for their games, but I'll speak for mine. It was against Dan Cox. Me and Ulyss spent the first day looking for
Dan Cox. Yep.
Looking for Dan Cox, and finally found him, and it was a great game. I thought I was toast because 1, Purge the Foe is like the worst mission for my my list.
Yeah.
2, Custodes. He was running a bunch of Guardians, which get twice hit on fire once a game, which is bad for me. And my first time of actually shooting him, I put 5 wounds into his Guardian unit with a Doomsday Arc, and he rolled 3 4s and 2 5s. And I was like, well, this is going to be a long game. But it was it was TTS. Who cares, right? So it worked out. I ended up winning. I think I'm like the lowest scoring winner so far in the GT, which is good because I'm just submarining it up. And then tomorrow we drive to Tampa, me and my boys. Griffin in the chat, shout out. He's going with one of my teammates on his team. And we're playing against some pretty good people down there in Tampa. First rounds are already out. So.
Oh, that's nice. They already gave you that's cool.
Yep. And my list I've been getting a lot of practice with. I played against several people. Thanks to you guys for fixing my list with the Scorpekh Lords. I don't think I've lost yet with that list. I got to play it like 5 times against DACA. And now DACA is no longer a thing. So I feel pretty good into most stuff. So yeah, pretty good.
Was there any other lists that kind of looked similar to yours there? And that
yeah, there's two warrior lists. One of them is actually looks like I posted it. It looks like a clone of Kylan's. Probably a subscriber. If you're in the chat, shout out.
Maybe.
Yes, Eric, I am still running the Catacomb Command Barge because it's best. But the other thing too, the other list I saw was I think it had the Nightbringer or something like that. I don't know. It just, Warrior Brick. It works in teams. It's a good thing. If they go into my team, I feel bad for them because everybody on my team has played against my list like 50 times. So, plus, like, I'll just tell them how to beat it because, it is what it is. But no, should be good. Hoping for top 10. There's 24 teams there. Top 10 is like a reasonable goal. If we get top 5, it'd be better. But we'll see how we do. So.
That's a big tournament right there because it's 8-man too, right?
No, it's just a 5-man.
Oh, it's 5-man.
It's
okay.
24 or 26 5-man teams, but you got Jack Harpster. He's got a team in it.
Are they doing the new pairing thing that they released for 5-mans?
Yeah, so maybe. So what they're doing is the Defender,
which I like a lot better. Actually, I think it's way cooler.
I think the problem is that what made team events so cool for me and a lot of other people is that it wasn't like a singles event anymore, right? It was great because you're with your boys. Everyone has like the same, mission. It's all good. And what they did was they changed it to where now, you put up your defender, they put up their defender, you put up your attackers to play that defender. Then they choose who they're playing against before they ever know what map they're choosing. All right. So, if they put up Custodes and we put up like World Eaters and we really want map 8, it's now a roll off. So let's say Custodes takes, Tau, and then the World Eaters takes Guard, thinking, I can put them on map 8 and win, right? Well, now it's like, I got to roll a dice, and sometimes luck ain't good, and so sometimes you just kind of got to fish for better matchups and think that map 8 is gone. The other thing too is it used to be everyone played the same mission. Now it's from each mission or each map, there's 2 missions available, right? And so it's kind of like attacker has more of an advantage now, in my opinion. And it's also more of like a singles event because like you don't know what mission you're going to get. You don't know what map you're going to get. So, and you don't know who you're playing against. So it's like really just a singles event, but you happen to be sitting right next to your boys. So whether or not your friend happens to be 5-0 at a GT and you're 0-5, it doesn't matter. You're at the same table setting. So it is what it is. But yeah.
Did they one thing I was referring to with the team format, like in the pairing process, I think it's I haven't specifically done it yet, but you nominate like whoever your team captain is or like leader for that round, those 2 match up against each other first, and then each team puts out a defender, so those are locked, but you don't know what those armies are until the end.
We don't do that. That's what the stat check league we're doing right now. I'm with Steven in. I'm running Ultramarines. Like I said, I'm a trader. That's what their league's doing. It's very interesting. It's not the captains. You choose an MVP basically. So you kind of just want to hope that you put up your best player and you hope your opponent doesn't. Right?
Yeah.
It could go both ways, right? You could put in a scratch or something.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. It's very like okay, I don't know what and it makes the pairing process, I feel like, go a little like faster too.
Yeah.
Because you only have to do one round of thing there, but
yep.
What are the
doing his old man walks? That's why I had to get over and get him.
What are the is it 4 rounds?
It's 5 rounds. Our first round we're pairing into some good dudes. I think one of them went to Worlds last year. I can't remember his name. I think it's Kyle. It's Demons, Chaos Knights, Blood Angels, Death Guard, and one more army. But yeah, in terms of Matrix stuff, I feel pretty comfortable into all of it. So we'll see how it goes.
Good stuff.
I'll find out tomorrow when I tell you guys, hey, I lost. So great.
I'm pretty good at my matchup too, and then then I handed out those 8-bound. I handed him 19 like feel no pains, and he just was like, I make 17 of them, and I was like, oh no. Like, it was
no.
so
Like,
bad.
man.
I was like, I was like, is this how it feels to play against Wraiths? Because this is miserable.
Dude, okay. So I played Steven, right? Ulysses was watching. I'm playing Steven, and I'm playing it with my Ultramarines, and I go in, and I'm like, I gotta kill this Wraith Brick. I left his Wraith Brick on 1 wound. I don't like Crypto Thralls, everything's dead. He had 1 wound remaining.
Yeah.
Just 1. I still ended up winning, but it was just like now I understand how people feel about the Warrior Brick, right? It's like so demoralizing for you to have it down so far just for it to come back, right?
You're like looking at your list. Is there anything I forgot? Is there anything I can do this last one?
Yeah. Oh, and then I moved some incursors up because I'm like, all right, cool. I can give all my dudes +1 to hit, right? And then I remembered after I moved and everything, oh, that's right. They have stealth, right? Because, it's awakened. And so I roll my 2 dice. And they're my oath target, so I'm like, all right, cool. Chances are I'm gonna hit 4s on one of these, right? So I roll my 2 4. I roll like 2 3s or something like that. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll re-roll them. Both missed again, and so the whole point of them.
You rolled a lot of 1s into 1s, dude.
Yeah, if they both hit, then or if any of them hit, I get +1 to hit for my army wide into that Wraith.
Oh
Brick.
yeah. You guys just like straight up missed the hero.
God, dude, it was so.
They just like didn't hit me.
And then I was playing against a freaking Custode player. Which, by the way, is his buddy. He said he had experience against our list because he played against someone was watching our stream. If you're in here, was watching our stream and started copying our list. The same turn that he made the 5 up in or the 5 invulns on my Doomsday Arc, Illuminor goes and shoots, and I roll 3 2s, and he's just like, oh,
Illuminor does 0 damage. Like,
yeah,
Illuminor's like, it's almost like he hits on 4s. Like, I swear,
it's
like
he
at
hits
the same time, like in my game, for instance, against Death Guard, Illuminor basically looked at Morty and like 2 or 3 other things and just kind of gave a big old middle finger to him and said, nah, like he did 2 damage, so he had 7 wounds left, and he finished with like 3 still, and he's just like, nah, I'm cool, like don't worry about it. So I don't know, like Illuminor, like especially with me playing him not in Awakened, like in Hyper, there's so many times I contemplate removing him from the list, and it's just like he's that one thing that's just awkwardly durable. It's just the amount of times he's actually won me the game because I put him in positions where my opponent felt like they needed to get rid of him, and that was like an area denial type situation. So it's like so denied the area denial. Morty was out in the middle. Just unfortunate for him in that situation.
Yeah, he like forced his play patterns out of people that they don't want, because like the things that kill like Xeris are like, they're weird. They're either things that kill everything in the game, so they're probably not wanting to waste their time on just like 3 OC, and they're probably also not wanting to be within 12 inches of Xeris. So like they pull you like into him, so it's like he just makes you do things you don't want to do.
And then you have 2 different cases of 4-ups, so it's like it's one of those kind of scenarios where even if you throw something in there that you're pretty confident it's going to kill him, there's that chance where he makes a couple extra 4-up invuls and then a couple extra 4-up Philippains, and all of a sudden he's still alive on 1 wound. And
that's what I'm saying, right? Like Illuminor, or sorry, not Illuminor, but like the Warrior Brick is so good in our list, right? But like I think the real MVPs is the Scorpekh Lord and Illuminor. Because the Scorpekh Lord having a 4-up
is such. Like you have to think that right there alone is a 25. Like you're only getting 25%, and that's after you've made it to the saving. Like made me make my saving roll. You're
Those
still only getting 25%.
models saved me my game. Another funny part and last part for me. He charges into me with a unit of sisters, like because he had witch seekers or whatever. He charges into my brick, and I'm so good with like the math of knowing when to reanimate, when to use a res orb, right? Because I kind of math out like when I'm gonna die. And then on TTS, you can go over the models, you can see how many attacks I get. And so he starts rolling his attacks, and he starts rolling 40 dice, right? And I'm just like sitting, and I was like, oh, what the hell? What kind of sister unit? Which sleeper unit throws 40 dice? And so I'm sitting there, I'm just like, oh, damn, man. And so he finishes his attacks, and I'm like, hey, dude, I didn't realize they had 40 attacks because like I hovered over them and saw they only had 2 each. Do you mind if I use one of my res orbs? Because I'm going to lose my warrior brick, and like that's just because TTS doesn't have the right things. He's like, what do you mean 2 attacks? And he starts hovering over his model, and he's like, oh, well, yeah, that's because I cheated.
Oh my
We
god.
started laughing for like 30 minutes. Like we couldn't get over it because I was just like,
That's because I cheated.
Because it was like also right after the whole warrior or the Doomsday Arc failed to kill a single guardian, right? So then he rolls these 40 dice, and I'm not gonna lie, dude, I would have lost the brick because like I was already missing like 5 dudes, but I'm thinking in my head, I could just reanimate them all by the end of the turn, right? After this attack, and I was just like, dude, do you mind if I take this back? And it was kind of a cool game too, because at the start of it, we were both like, hey, look, it's TTS, we don't care, like let's give take backs. Like it was super chill game. In a normal GT setting, I've probably been kind of frustrated because I was like, dude, you just rolled 40 dice, and if I didn't catch on to that, it's one of those things where it's like, especially in a GT setting when you don't have TTS to go over and look over people's models, you have to know your army. So the best way to lose is just being cheated, right? And so that's how he didn't. Not saying he cheated to me. Great dude, great opponent, Dan. Battle of the Dans, right? It was great a game, but that will stick with me for a while because it was just so funny. Because like, you can wipe my warrior brick with sisters if you cheat. That's what I learned.
I did that too. Like not as egregiously, but I was rolling like this is how often I've rolled like even bothered to roll my attacks with my Doomsday Arcs. Is I just assumed they had 4. But they only have 3 attacks, dude. Like in combat. So like when I was playing that game against Custodes over the weekend, like I hit with all 4 and then I wounded with all 4 and then he rolled 2 ones and like one of his guys just died and I was like, dang. I was like, that was crazy. And then I was like, let me double check and make sure they were 4 because I felt bad about it. Because it was a rout already. Like you guys saw that one dice roll where I gave him like 4 dev wounds and his whole unit just evaporated. But I would have looked it up and I was like, I guess I gotta re-roll this whole thing.
Yeah, I always have to triple check our OC because we have weird stuff with weird OC like counts. Like, Reanimator was what 3, Stalker I think it's 4,
6 or something.
Yeah, just some like the DDAs are like 5. It's just
higher than you would suspect for sure.
Yeah,
usually you think it's
the Triarch Stalker being 4.
Yeah.
It's like DDAs are so clutch, like to play aggressively, like mid to late game, because like your opponent, they're like, wait, you're putting this on the objective? I'm like, hell yeah, it's OC5, dude. I'm gonna shoot you up and then just like deny your primary. Great.
Yeah. The amount of times I've like charged with a DDA just to tank shock and then take OC back because you're like, cool, you're 5 miles. Like, I killed 1 or 2 with tank shock.
Sacrifices, Doomsday. Go ahead.
It's so good.
Colin, do you want to catch up on some of these?
Yeah. Depressed to con. Yo, man, appreciate your support. Glad you're here. And we got a question. So do you guys think the triple Scorpekh Lord tech would work well in Canoptic Court? Lots of rerolls. Keep up the great content, gent. Well, appreciate you, man. Dude, we got to pass this over to Steven, man.
I'm gonna jump in. One, I think Scorpechs are good in they're like Frank's Red Hoss. You can put that shit on anything, because you can like just stick them in Canoptic Court and they still get like full rerolls. Like they're not benefiting from the detachment at all, but it's still they're still good. They lose a lot by not having that enhancement or being able to stand back up with the lords. So I don't think you spam them in particular like you would in Awakened, but I definitely don't think like a unit of them or even 2 units like for counterpunch, it's not a lot of points. And they do like achieve a goal that Canoptic Court doesn't like have, which is like consistent damage. Canoptic Court can't like go, I need to kill this thing that's in my face. So it is definitely like an option that you can look at in Canoptic Court, but I think the rules in Canoptic Court are just kind of like a little rough right now. Other than like how hilarious they make like 3 reanimators, the rest of them just aren't. Yeah, it's like you get the reactive move, but people are so good at playing against the reactive move now, and the lone.
Oh, dang! We just lost. Everybody. We're back. We're back.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Technology.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like the Canoptic Doomstalkers are definitely like they are not able to just slot right back in for like Doomsday Arcs because you lose so much strength, you lose an AP and you lose a damage. Like they fall off pretty catastrophically. So I think they do have a place in Canoptic Court, but I think Canoptic Court right now is just kind of like struggling.
I think like the idea of 1 unit's interesting because Like the one thing that's nice with Scorpekh and then you're comboing it with Wraiths is like you don't really care if your opponent like interrupts or like messes with the Wraiths. So like if you charge a Scorpekh, that's your one unit that's going to for sure fight first, and then the Wraiths can still charge something else, and you're like, cool. Do you really want to spend 2 CP to like interrupt the Wraiths? Most of the time, it's not going to be super efficient for them, especially depending on how you're charging in. So.
They're the same stat too, where they're like T6, 3-up save. Like they don't have the invuln, but like most of the things that like rip through them is like auto cannons anyway. So
yeah,
I think what makes the Scorpekh Lord so good in Awaken is one, the fact that you can bring one with a 4-up Finopane. But the other thing too is like it's not just a simple trade of sacrificing them for one unit, because what's going to happen is usually you can charge into something that can kill you in combat. It's really hard for enemies to be able. It's what makes Illuminor so good too, right? It makes it really hard for people to be able to kill you in shooting and activate in combat as well to do the same. And so like what I've noticed when running the Scorpekh Lord is like I'll charge into something, wipe a Rogel Dorn or something, because why not? And then they'll shoot the unit, kill them quick because Scorpechs in general just die fast. And then they'll kill the Scorpekh Lord. I'll bring him back to life, and then by the time it's my next turn, I'm reanimating from 4 wounds back up to 7, possibly, right? And then I'm like, cool, I'm going to charge into this little infantry unit, kill 2 or 3 of them with the mortal wound spam, and then kill like 5 more little guardsmen with my sweep attack. It's just too good. It's too good of a thing. Being able to bring back characters. I think the real trick of making the Scorpekh Lords work in Awaken and Illuminor and all this different synergies is being able to trade one character per phase. That's the hard part. And it's a hard.
You do trade him when people go after him. You don't just like get to stand him back up. And that is one of the nice things about Awakened is you're like, oh, you killed him, cool. Now he can act however he wants next turn because you did it in the combat phase. So he like stands up and it's like, does he want to charge back in and be like, I'm not finished, or like, or go do something. Like sometimes he'll get up and just like be like, hold on a second, I gotta go contain over here. Bye.
I think the worst thing you could possibly do with running Scorpechs and Illuminor in Awaken list is let the Scorpekh Lord with a 4-up Finopane and Illuminor die the same phase. It's like the worst thing you can possibly do, because it's like, well, crap, who do you keep back, right? Who do you keep alive? Obviously, I think Illuminor, right? But like the Scorpekh Lord with the 4-up Finopane in my game against the Custode player in the GT thing, he was up field by himself, nothing else around for like 3 turns, just holding up 2 units of guardsmen or 2 units of custodes, just rolling 4-ups and 4-ups. And he's just like, when I told him it was 80 points for the model, he just got really frustrated. But yeah.
Well, and I said it before. I still think one of the strongest aspects in 40K is anytime when you can trade a piece and not lose it in return. So like the idea that you could literally charge your Scorpekh unit, you trade a piece. Their whole concept is to come back and trade it back, but then your character still survives that and is now able to kill the thing that killed them. So it's like, you sack a 100-point unit to get rid of a 100-point unit, and then all of us are 90 to 90, and then add the Lord, so 170. But like, it's that idea that like your trading efficiency becomes so strong in that scenario because you're like, cool, you're gonna go sack something else into this unit, and I'm only gonna lose half of it because the character comes back.
And not to mention, like, the fact that it really just punishes monophase armies. Like, if you're primarily just shooting or you're just fighting, like, you're going to run into a lot of issues.
It's going to be really rough. I think it'd be that if you're a monophase army, it's going to be really tough to beat that combo.
It's why I like the Warriors, too, because it's like, you don't have to trade anything, really. Because, like, they're just going to charge into your Warriors, try to kill them, find out they only kill about 10 of them at most. And then now the trade game is to your advantage because now your Scorpechs are coming out of that piece of terrain, wiping the entire unit. Like he charged me with a 6-man Valentari or whatever the Custode wing people are with a free rapid ingress. Yeah, he charged into my Warriors and didn't do much. And then the very next turn, the Custode or the Scorpekh Lord came in and wiped him down to 1 model. And he was just like, cool.
So that's what it is.
I mean, honestly, in some extent, my hyper plays into that as well. And the fact that, especially with like the double monolith build and the fact that I'm going to come down, take a substantial amount of your stuff away. And then there's a reasonable odds that you try to kill 1 monolith in the clapback and then just don't because you've lost 1 or 2 anti-tank weapons. And now you're hoping that what you have left can kill that monolith. And then it doesn't. And then in worst case, you maybe, you put them on, -1 to hit, but I mean, it's not bracketing is not what it used to be. Like the fact that you're like -1 to hits, like, okay, whoop-de-doo, I'm still rerolling ones, like, you know, so especially for monoliths that have sustained D6 on their big guns, it's kind of like the -1 to hit's not that big of a deal. So it's
yeah,
sustained D3, sorry. But what did I say?
You said D6.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Well, now we know how you
that's why Ulysses has been doing so well, guys.
I cheated.
So you see what had happened was
Hear me out.
He shot me 4 times and he got 24 hits. What?
No, I did actually have that happen in our orc game though, where I had two hits that turned into like 11 or something crazy.
Oh, dude, it was so dirty. I felt bad for Colby, man.
Yeah, it was against like a kill rig or something like that. I'm like, let me just go ahead and shoot this monolith real quick, and yeah, it was something like 11 hits or something like that out of 4 shots.
And then you took a secret mission, right? And you basically won with a secret mission.
So my list plays the secret a lot, and the one big thing too about secret missions, especially if your list can play well into it, is especially when you're going first, right? So like secret missions, you don't have to worry about scoring at the top of turn 5. You get the end of game. So for me, it's a big advantage. Most of the time, if I'm unable to win, if I'm unable to score a secret mission, my list is probably already lost, because my list is playing for the turn 4 and 5 to come on really strong and to win the back half of the game. So yeah, if I'm already losing, like if I can't claw back at that point and can't land a secret, and there's a lot of options for me for secrets. Like I can either try and get Silent King to my opponent's home objective, or I can just hold the 3 outside of my deployment zone, or I can kill all their battle line and put some warriors back there in the back somewhere. Like those 3 are relatively easy for me to do as a Nekron player. So, and the hyper, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say at Tacoma, I played the like single unit of Immortals, like just unled, like 5 of them, just to like that was before the secret mission changes, like the last Tacoma, and like it was so funny. I was playing secret like basically every game, and after turn 3, I'd be like, okay, I'm taking a secret mission, and they'd like look around and be like, what do you like?
Yeah.
You have any battle line? And I'll be like, yeah. And they like look around the board, and I'm like, oh, they've been off the board since turn 1, dude. They've been sitting up there in hypergrip since turn 1. They've had a plan. Like they've been up.
Paper,
and it's like you found me, but they're gonna 3-hit Steam Strike, bro. Like And there was one game against Grey Knights. He had like what are they, the strikes or whatever?
Yeah.
The Silent King literally chased the strikes around the board from turn 3 until turn 5, and he had to hit the 9-inch charge to finish him off, because he just kept AOCing him and running him away, and he's like, AOC, hide in a building, and then he hit the 9-inch charge, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, I had to get them for the secret mission.
Kylan, I want to hear what your prep is for your GT, but I wanted to answer this question real quick. Patrick Stock asked, do you guys have an army you just hate going against? Mine 100% is Tyranids, because Hogan gave me PTSD. I hate Tyranids. I think all Tyranid players are awesome people, but I hate you all. Nothing pisses me off more than being battle shocked. Such a dumb mechanic.
I feel like even more so for me is CSM. I think that's what I'm most scared of this weekend for sure. Yeah, I mean, as far as like the also just backtrack a little bit to Presscon. Seriously, appreciate the 5 gifted, man, and maybe we'll answer this Caleb's questioner. So struggling to justify the Silent King in my Awaken list. Realize ignore mods and rerolling one's really powerful. The right combos would be so expensive. There's so much anti-vehicle out there, which very valid question, and you're totally correct. I think just for me, why I personally like the Silent King, at least like with my build, is the fact that you're not forced to really show the Silent King unless you absolutely have to. The warriors really afford you a nice luxury, and the way the list is functioning in terms of like, hey, I'm going to stand on these points with a lot of OC. You have to come towards me with a decent amount of resources, and then I get to hit you. The thing with the Silent King is he kind of, ignore mods is huge. I mean, it definitely does help in terms of certain matchups, but he has this nice threat projection in terms of like, if you do get within 24 or you do want to try to push me with like whole spam or something like that, it gives me the option to come out, fire, and then charge, because he's also a decent melee threat as well. So I think he just fixed a lot of problems that I seem to run in with the Awaken build, and I mean he hasn't left my list since, and running him this weekend. But yeah, even though there's a lot of anti-vehicle out there, you don't have to poke them out. You just tell your opponent like, hey, you're just gonna spend your predators and whatever else just shooting at warriors, and you're like, cool.
We have this argument a lot. Oh,
yeah.
As far as Awakened, like I was gonna jump in there too, and I keep telling you guys my breakdown. So the way I see the Silent King, first off, is like I feel like he's actually like good value even in Awakened, even though he's 420 points. Because if you look at Star Shatter, right, you pay 150 points for a command barge with the aura. So that's like, so if you take 150 points off for the reroll ones, which, you know, almost all Star Shatter these days are taking the reroll ones. And then you also have the choice of taking Ignore mods for those like bad matchups like Tyranids where you need them. And especially with the Death Guard coming up, we might be looking at a Silent King every time kind of thing. Yeah. And then, you know, his melee profile is really good. It's solid.
It's really
and I'd say it's comparable to like 3 Scorpeks because he hits on 2s, he's rerolling 1s, so that's essentially rerolling hits. And he's strength 8, which is 1 more strength than the Scorpeks, and he's AP 3, which is 1 more AP than the Scorpeks. So
he's lethal too, right?
And he's lethal. So it's kind of the same as the Scorpeks because they're probably going to be led. But the Scorpeks get dev wounds. He gets lethal naturally. He gets 1 more AP, and they get dev wounds. So it's like really close. So if you're looking at like 240 points that you're already spending on like those 2 units, like yes, you're more MSU that way, but like that leaves what 180 points, right? So 180 points for his like offensive profile and just a stack of wounds. It's like it's really good value.
Well, the other thing too with Awaken is the fact that you can also, if you really need, like you can just stick the Miniers out, and it's not like anyone's going to kill Silent King in 1 shooting activation. You can stick the Miniers out, still shoot with your indirect, so you're just missing your middle guns. And then at the end of the day, like he can reanimate too.
Yeah, and the reanimate in Awakened is so good because he's probably sitting next to the reanimator. So I've had that happen a lot where people like that actually happened over the weekend. I lost 1 Minier, and then I just reanimated 5. So I was like literally back to full. And in Awakened, you can use the strat because you lose a model in the unit. So like, say you stick it out and you lose 2 Miniers, and then you're like, okay, I'm just going to reanimate 2d3 on average. I have both Miniers back next turn.
And now they've also exposed something to do that damage.
To shoot the king,
now that you can shoot back again. And then the other thing too is, especially if we see like Emperor's Children become more popular, but like the aura +1 leadership is no joke either.
It's good. It's important for us, for sure.
I feel, especially in that warrior list, to be able to have that +1, like, and then also like we've talked about it before, the Ignore mods allows you to still maintain your 2 OC if you get battle shocked still. So the warriors having a guaranteed of 2 OC is really strong. Daniel gets around it a little bit with his Catacomb Command Barge and the fact that they keep at least 1 OC even if they're battle shocked. But I think we've all kind of like come to the conclusion that you need either the Catacomb Command Barge or the Silent King in that list, because you want to at least at the very minimum be having at least the 1 OC.
I guess the biggest question is he running warriors as like what are you building around, right? Like I think that we've mentioned this last time.
Building around warriors. I think even race though. I think Silent King has a place there.
He's good. He's good with the race too. The other nice thing about the king is like Kylan was saying, is he is just like he's like a counterpunch unit. He can just kind of go around. Also, the funny thing that I find about his Minihirs a lot is you'll sometimes run into those matchups where his Minihirs don't really matter. So you're like, oh, I got like 10 ablative wounds because you're going against like a bunch of orcs or something. So you're like, these don't really matter after you get out of your trucks, which you're going to get out of your trucks probably before I can kill them. Like, especially with the king. Like if the king's getting lines on their trucks, then they're probably not doing them right. So
also,
like
the Miniers also give like that added mobility, like weird.
You can get him into weird spots, like you can charge things that you normally couldn't.
That's
like
you
can, or you can like throw them back to like go back to an aura like that you need.
Screening, weird, just weird stuff.
Because if you're able to keep the Miniers out of LOS and have like kind of the classic like box art pose where you got 1 Minier on each side and they're 2 inches there, I mean, you essentially have like a 10-inch footprint at that point. for the model where you can go in either direction and get it, which is extremely valuable if you have to do that.
Yeah, or if you lose like one Minier, I've had that happen all the time where I'm like, okay, where's this Minier going? Because what am I charging? Like, you can leapfrog it, you can like put it in front, and they're big enough. What are they, like 40 mils or something? They're like decently sized bases. So it's like 3-4 inches of movement basically for your charge. So it makes them a lot easier to like. Oh, and also I had this happen at Tacoma also. If you are using the Miniers for something like to go somewhere or stand on an objective or something like that, like people like you can use them so big models can't get into the king also. Like I got charged by like Carnifexes and Screamer Killers. And basically the first one swung and I pulled the Miniers out from in front of the king and the other ones just couldn't pile in and get to him. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm fine. And that's when I learned that they don't have invuln saves. And they disappear really fast to AP4.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The whole unit gets the 4-up invuln. But
no, I was saying the like Carnifexes and Exocrines and stuff like that.
A lot of mids,
the nids just have toughness.
Yeah, the auras though is only from the Silent King's base. Technically, because of the vehicle, if he has like his stair step lead over the base, you can actually reach the aura to that.
The only thing that Silent King is missing is the Walker keyword.
Oh yeah, and the back of his model also like
and fly
sticks out a little bit.
Fly
Fly is like kind of a debuff.
So he's not really missing fly though, because everyone's already playing it with fly. So
that's true. Like a lot of people are, but like at least all of your other like vehicles fly, so you just fly those over the king. It does matter if you're trying to like shuffle them in here like through him because they can't go through each other. But like the fly would actually be like a debuff, I think, because there's a lot of things that are like anti-fly too. So like I'm actually not like it's not that bad not having it. It's kind of nice not having it.
Yeah, I hate when Helvern shoots Satans because anti-fly is.
Oh yeah, you're like no.
Depressticon. I think you're talking about Walter, right? He went. Shout out to Walter. He went 5-0, I believe, at nationals. I played against Steven with Psychomancers, and we learned that the biggest disadvantage to Psychomancers is Gilliman giving rerolls of leadership tests. So
yeah, dude, he kept like doing the rerolls instead of like 2 oaths, and it was really annoying. I was like,
why need 2 oaths when I can't kill the Wraithbreak?
That's true. He's like, I was just sitting rerolls, and I was like, are you sure? Like, can you not? And he's like, no, I'm gonna do rerolls. You know,
normally I would just pass him, but that one time I'd fail him. Steven would be like, yes, and I'd be like, wait, reroll.
Yeah, and he passed it every time on the rerolls, man. He failed the first one every time and passed the reroll every time, and I was like, I hate this. I wish he had just double oathed me, man. Never have those words been spoken before, but
oh no, you're good. Matt Mann asked 2 questions for you guys. Euless, I haven't been able to hear your beautiful voice. You answer this. You love scarabs. Is Scarab or 4 scarabs? If you're self-destructing on a vehicle, is it impossible to fail because of the +1? If it's impossible, why as ones usually are always fails? Why as ones are usually always fails? Like, why
it used to be in an older edition. I don't know if it's 8th or 9th. There used to be like a flat rule, like ones always failed. So it's a carryover from that. A lot of people assume that ones always fail. But no, for that one, and correct, Steven, you're on the same page as I am. That if it's versus a vehicle, it auto works.
It just auto works.
Yeah,
you just get the crit on 5.
One of the cool techs though with scarabs, talking about scarabs and exploding, is if you make a charge roll that basically just barely gets them to their, or you can't finish multiple targets like in base to base. The fun thing to do with scarabs is get them just, and because of how wide their bases are, you can have your first guy in engagement and keep the others far enough away. He'll explode, do the mortals, and then your opponent can't pile in because they didn't declare the charge. They're not in engagement. So they actually can't fight the scarabs back. So that's a fun little trick sometimes too, if you just need a few mortals on that unit. But the way I use scarabs a lot is a lot of times they're my security blanket. Like if there's a vehicle or something that's close by that I really want to make sure dies, it's that like, oh, I left it on 1 or 2 wounds. It's that last little shot that might be able to get those last wounds in. because so many times you lose games because you just left something on 1 wound. So they're kind of an extra security blanket for that. And then they also, with I think Scarabs with Illuminor is such a high value because they can spread out so far. But but as far as that's concerned, they're great against vehicles. They auto explode, and you'll get those 5s quite often. So it's pretty consistent for that.
It's pretty good. I'm trying to think. Oh, I guess my GT this weekend. I mean, feeling overall pretty good about it. Still doing the warrior brick. Nothing's changed. Missions are pretty good. No purge the foe to worry about. So I think so that'll help. And then I think the first.
It's so funny because purge is my favorite. That's actually.
I mean, I do like purge.
Bastard.
I think in a weird way, my list can play pretty well on purge, to be honest. But at the same time, I feel like I'd rather just not play it. But
if you go for the warriors, you can. The problem is we have so many cheap scoring pieces where if they just. You kind of have to just throw them forward, right, Kylan? You have to just be turn 1 and 2, you're gonna kill more. Here you go, and then you just gotta be all right, cool.
Or you just make sure you guys win the hold more game.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of times, so on Purge the Foe, what I'll do is honestly the opposite. I won't obviously play the flayed ones aggressively because that's just gonna give them a guaranteed free kill in the first round, and you keep the Locust Destroyers and everything else back. I mean, it kind of creates for a pretty boring game the first 3 turns because you basically just still send out the warriors and you basically set up the perfect scenario if they have to commit more to do anything with the warriors or keep you off primary, and then it sets you up for a kill more and hold more going into that battle round.
Now during Purge, when you guys play in Purge with your guys' list, do you find yourself more often than not adding the Scorpekh Lords to the Scorpekh units to try and mitigate that, or do you still kind of play your style?
It's probably 95% attached for me, and
Purge,
a lot of on Purge, it depends on the opponent. Every once in a while, you'll because if you're against elves, if you touch them, they just explode. So you can split up all those units, and at Adepticon, I played against a more MSU Gene Stealer cult. So it was the same thing where it's if the Scorpeks hit them, then they'll die. If the Scorpekh Lord hits them, they'll die. So I'm I can split them up and have more activations. But yeah, I almost always attach them just because I don't know, they just work better with the lethals and the +1 to hit. They just and getting that reroll on the Scorpekh Lord, it matters because if you ever need that guy to really deliver for you and he doesn't have rerolls, he's gonna roll 2 1s. I don't know why.
Real quick, I just want to answer this one question for Bob Bongler. So the reason why, right? So the way cover works, okay? You get cover save if you're wholly within terrain or if you're the unit that's firing at you cannot see you with every model, right? And so the way that me and Kylan play our warrior brick is, if you've ever watched Kylan's videos, is that they string all the way back into his piece of terrain. So chances are Orican is still a model, even though he doesn't shoot, he needs to see the target, all right? And so because Orican can never see that target, they're always going to have access to cover save, all right? Yep. And so the problem with having flares is, yes, you get 24 inches, but what is 24 inches with 1 shot each going to do to a custode, right? I would rather risk it with a advance. This is why I like the Overlord 2 over the Royal Warden, an auto advance up to 11 inches of total movement, give them the assault keyword, and put 25 to 30 shots at AP -2 down to 1. So that way now, hey, and they can burn Armor of Contempt for that if they really want to have a 2-up save. But usually if you're doing that, you usually have a Doomsday Arc or something within range, or you have the Silent King about to put shots on them, right? Or you have Scorpekh Destroyers about to go in for a charge. If they want to use Armor Contempt against warriors, go for it, right? But that's why I always do Reapers. I tried the flares. We had Walter on that one time. I did try it, but that's exactly what I dealt with. Is just I'm already giving you a cover save because of my warrior brick being so far back. That Illuminor's whole purpose in my list at that point is just being a tank, and I like having him for more than just a tank, for keeping that +1 AP on my Reapers. But yeah.
The other part too that is that you guys are so good at breaking your coherency so that you can basically get out of combat and either still shoot, still do actions, or still charge. So that you're going to be close to your opponents with a good bulk of your list, your warriors anyway. So I don't think adding that range, and the thing too, right? If you're shooting from outside of 12 inches, then it's only one shot. Like again, it kind of like, how much damage are you doing with maybe 9 shot? You know, like, or even let's say on a good game, you're going to have 14 or 15 shots at strength 4, hitting on 4s. You know, like with 0 AP, like maybe 1 if Illuminor's there. Like you're just going to be doing so little, unfortunately. And like you said, you're already giving them cover, so basically it's going to be a 0 up save or 0 AP. So like, I think the Reapers still play if you are really good at breaking your coherency to, you know, that's part of your game plan.
You actually do a lot of damage, but it's to your own clock. That's where you do the damage.
That's true. Yeah. Even bothering to shoot sometimes.
Activating them, if you're activating those, you're like
I'm not wasting. I'm not wasting 17 shots. Not even 17 shots. It'd be like 8, and like I don't know. It's not worth it.
It's very it's very underwhelming. Very underwhelming.
Yeah, if you're needing like 17 or 18 shots from lethal, like from flares to go through, you're probably in bigger trouble.
Well, yeah, the only reason why you would use the flares, if anything, is because if you use the reroll to hit strat, the shooting strat, you do get the 12 inches, right? But again, you better be shooting into like, you know, wound 3 models, because if you're not, you're just wasting your shots. Like
if you're playing an awakened list and your second unit, you have 2 units of warriors with like a plasmancer, like maybe it starts to get a little bit more interesting, because then you get the rerolls at 12 inches. It starts to get a little more interesting. As someone who's played a lot of plasmancer warrior lists with the rerolls, I can tell you that I can feel a big difference from AP1 to AP2 from when I didn't have Illuminor on my list versus when I did. AP2 just at the end of the day, like it's only a difference of like 4-ish wounds, but to go from 12 wounds down to 8 just means that a lot of things that would have died didn't die. And so like to me, it's not always about the wounds you do, but it's the break points that you hit. And so by hitting those break points, because now my warrior list guarantees a roughly around 16 wounds to almost anything in the game, you know, but now that 16 goes to 12, that maybe is 11, you know, like there's a lot of things that survive there that wouldn't have otherwise.
Yep.
Kyle, I wanted to ask you, is there any like big named people or armies that you're just like, maybe round 1 the submarine?
I mean,
also,
yeah.
Let me jump back in because he asked about Tesla versus like Gauss on Immortals. Also, I think Tesla is almost universally a better profile at the moment, just because it's just like more volume. I think maybe if there's like a universe where you wanted to use like Chronomancer for the lethals to kind of like jump out and poke with like 10 Gauss Immortals, but like I don't know.
It's still the cover stuff.
I think Tesla's almost, and we have other things that have AP. So if you want AP, there's just better things in our list, our armies that do the AP2, you know, scenarios. So but back to Kylan. Like, is there anybody in particular?
Wait, real quick, Matt, man, just so you understand that when you roll the Scarab's dice, you're not rolling to hit; it's an ability. So it's not a hit roll; it's a dice roll for an ability, right? Where you get +1 to that dice roll. And so another way to think about it too, right, is even if it was a hit roll, and you're not technically rolling a 1, you're rolling a 2, but it's not a hit roll. You're rolling an ability. It's not the same. But yeah, sorry for cutting you guys off.
No. I think so. It's interesting because the missions. So first 3 missions are on layout 1, and then the next 2 missions are layout 4. And by popular request on layout 4, they're actually switching that middle L ruin, so it's a better staging point.
Oh, nice.
That's
cool. Yeah.
That was a pretty
Always
cool that TO's decided to do that, because otherwise it's just like an open playground on that layout.
It's such a weird
like there's literally nowhere to stage.
You gotta be fast. You gotta be like World Eaters fast.
I mean, even World Eaters, you look at that board.
World Eaters can do it. Trust me. As someone that's just gotten plowed by World Eaters twice in a row, they can make it there, bro.
On layout 4?
So fast. Yeah. Yeah, because like
where are they staging?
Like, behind the one, the flat one, the one that goes like flat with the side, they can just sit right in that corner, and then they're shooting across the middle with their because they move what?
If
They
Warriors go
move
first, I just assume they make it
11
wherever they want to go.
Yeah, they move 11 plus 3d6, right?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
can
their
they
like
auto 6? I can't remember. Yeah.
they can auto 6 also. Like if they're playing Berserker Warband. If they're not playing Berserker Warband, then they're wrong.
So we're doing those layouts. I think first mission today is Scorched Earth. Then we have Burden of Trust, which I honestly wish we were playing Purge over Burden, just for the fact that it like I feel like you spend 30 minutes of your game talking about Burden of Trust, and that's why I don't like it. It's just a nightmare. And then the third is the Ritual, and then we're doing Take and Hold on the second day in Terraform. So no Lich Pin, which I was kind of surprised about. So
on Scorch, when do you guys usually see yourself actually trying to pop Scorch? Because I mean, you guys generally are winning the primary game.
Yeah, turn 2.
Turn 2.
Yeah, like I usually
to one side.
Yep. Yeah, you force them to come like fight you over it. I love like especially in like Star Shatter 2. It's hilarious to do it. Be like, okay, my wraiths are like out here in the very middle of the map terraforming. What are you gonna do? I have 3 Doomsayers waiting, like, and a Silent King. It's like, your go. Cause like they don't really have a choice but to answer it.
Yeah.
Like at Worlds, like at WCW, I played against like Ultramarines, my cat, baby cat. I played against Ultramarines, and like turn 1, I moved out and took like my primary expansion and terraformed it, and he was playing Vanguard Ultramarines. And turn 2, I just moved to the middle and was like, okay, I'm terraforming this too. And he's like, I don't really want to walk out, because I was running my older list with like. It might have been 3 Doomsayers actually. I might have taken 3. I think I took 3 Doomsayers to Worlds, didn't I? I don't remember. Yeah. But he's like, I don't want to go out there. And then like literally the moment his turn ended, he like looked at me and he's like, I just lost the game, didn't I? And I was like, I think so. Like, cause he's like, I should have gone after him. Like, he's like, I totally just messed that up. Yeah.
Terraform, if you can get ahead early, it's pretty hard to claw that back.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm surprised because of like the 84 players, 8 are Necrons. I think Necrons is the top representative of this tournament. There's not one Star Shatter player, which is crazy. There's every other detachment though. We actually have 1 Annihilation Legion. There's 3 Hypercrypt. I think 2 or 3 Awaken, and then 1 Phalanx, I think is the breakdown. So kind of interesting. I'm the only one I think running the full 20 warrior kit. So cool. it'll be interesting. So
on there this weekend or no?
What's up?
Do you know if they're having any stream games there or any streamers?
I'm not sure. I know the owner. I was gonna who's running it, coming in tomorrow night and helping him with one of his cameras or whatever to get some like content for the weekend. But I don't think anybody's like live streaming it or anything, unfortunately. But yeah, now we got Tom. We got Tom in the chat now. He's trying to vent about his guard life. You know, he's guard.
Roll more 4-ups, Tom. But real quick,
they couldn't have had a worse game than my depth guard.
We were supposed to have Tactical Tortoise stream Tampa.
Oh yeah, I heard about that in his like car trouble.
That, he is no longer doing that. Car trouble.
Yeah, his car broke down. Yeah.
He is not going to be there, which is unfortunate. I was looking forward to never being on stream anyways. So.
Oh, you like being on stream?
But yeah, I think
you probably have the most live stream out of all of us now at this point, Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm pretty on live stream actually. It's kind of someone's gonna get me eventually. It's gonna be like John Lennon or something, man, on stream.
That's pretty good.
I'm gonna be like, I forfeit. Huh?
I said being on stream is cool until you lose, and then you're like, damn. All the boys just watching me get housed. Like
no links, no links set out, no links. It's
that last game,
yeah, I'm not gonna show
it. That last game, he put me on stream because he wanted me to lose with the Warrior Brick, and
But yeah, other than that, I think I'm most scared of CSM this weekend. I mean, they're up there as well. I think there's like 6 or 7 CSM players. Some of the lists look pretty spicy. So, and I don't got a lot of practice into matchups like that, but I know more or less like how I need to handle it. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So,
I think the biggest thing is just really preparing for heroic intervention to pinch the possessed to make sure they can't get everything into you.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just got to be limiting surface area and heroic intervenes. I mean,
we're all working on our stash game right now.
Mine just stayed the same. Mine just stayed the same. We got a rules question in the chat. So we got Burden of Trust. Do you think the Warriors can guard multiple objectives? Quick answer, no. It's not an action. The mission never plays. The units have to be different. But as far as I know, it's a no.
I'm pretty sure the rule states that 1 unit per objective. It's not like raise banners. Raise banners, the Warriors can raise banners on all 5 if you touch all 5. But you probably won't.
Yeah.
And if you do, then good job.
Yeah.
Daniel, you were. I think if we played one more turn, you might have been able to pull that off in our game.
Yeah, we should take a screenshot to show the chat. Basically, in our game, because I am scared of Euros. I truly think that if we would have played a full 5 games, it would have been either a tie or you probably would have beat me. I would have had to go for something. My plan was to move forward and then shift to the left and keep your stuff all the way over there while I already have the left side of the board and blocking you with the Warriors. And you'd have to basically spend a turn shooting my Warriors and then hope I don't come back. I moved my Warrior brick up and I made a cross in the middle of it was basically like 4 inches away from the deployment zone.
Yeah, the cross kept moving. I kept
moving.
I
was at a doorstep playing ham. You heard about the book?
I just imagine like a college marching band, just kind of sliding to the side.
It's like in my head, I'm like, the ends go marching 2 by 2, hurrah,
So Griffin in the chat is actually from my area. His first ever GT he went to, first ever one. I played him with the Warrior brick. And it was his early games. It built a friendship. Usually it ends friendships, but it built one. But yeah, back to your question. You can't, it's not an action, you're right, but I think the card specifically states that you can't, it's per objective marker you control, 1 unit can do this. Raise banners is a little different. It's just battle line can raise banners. And
I miss when you used to be able to cleanse with 1 unit, but now you
used to be able to cleanse with everything. But no,
cleanse 2 targets at the same time. But yeah, now
we only have a couple of minutes left. Something I wanted to talk about is I think that the meta is shifting, right? Like I think that we built the Warrior brick and we've been running it because the meta has been so anti-vehicle. But we have like Emperor's Children, World Eaters, Death Guard.
We about to get pressed, man.
We about to get
a little different, right?
We better start gearing for that melee game or else.
What is it? 20, 40, 60, 80, 120 Poxwalkers with Infiltrate.
That World Eater Jackal detachment was spicy, man.
Both of them are the transport one and the Berserker one.
Yeah, with the 6-inch pile in and consolidate, like people do not understand. If you are a very good player, I cannot tell you how strong that is. Especially
it is spicy, man.
Like getting that on doubles, so they basically have access to it pretty much every turn they need it.
Well, especially if you can charge with 2. When you can charge with 2 separate units, kill it with another unit, and then that unit now gets the 6. The other unit that didn't get the fight yet now gets to pile into something that you did not expect it to get to pile into, and you're just like, cool. I lose my speed bump unit and my juicy unit that was sitting, 4 or 5 inches behind.
With the Poxwalker detachment, is it full 20 mans come back to life on turn 3, 4, and 5, or is it just 10 mans?
I think they're 10 mans, but still, you're getting 200 extra points, dude. How much? How often would you love to get a 10-man of like 5-up invuln guys with a feel no pain that have deep strike on, like throughout the game? Like that's just awesome.
Like every turn is a different utility, number, right? Like you get 3 on 1 turn, 2 on 1, and 1 on the last one, or something like that, right? Like
that doesn't matter.
Well, and the Jackal detachment has a reinforcement stratagem too, so they can bring back like a 20 Jackals or whatever.
Jesus. That's what I'm saying. Tesseract Vault and 3 Doomsday Arcs. Come at me, bro.
Yeah,
Tesseract Vault might be a play coming.
Dude, it's gonna pick up stuff.
You guys heard it here first.
I played against a guy with. Sorry, you go first.
Oh, yeah. Like think of the Boxwalker. Like, would you straight up trade like Awakens +1 to hit when led for the Poxwalkers, I would trade it so fast if I just got like 10, 5, and 2 warrior units, like 2-man warrior units. I don't even care. Like, especially if they get like deep strike too. Like, they'd also have deep strike and an involved and a field of fate. I would do that so fast. I would be like, this is our best detachment by far.
It does nothing for our builds. Like, if like Kylan, tell me if I'm wrong. Would you rather trade +1 to hit for like deny blast? Like, imagine this. Our army rule was 5 models and more does not count for blast. That's all I want. I want my warrior brick to get shot by a vindicator or something, and you not get extra shots. That's what I want. But like +1 to hit, what is my warriors hitting on 3s gonna do?
Yeah, but I mean, for other units though, I mean, it's really good.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's like
okay, I guess, but they're already
it's
rolling,
okay for Scorpekh. It's like it's best for like the Locust heavies. Like if you took the Locust heavies, that's who it's best for. But then that unit's like so expensive and it just dies, and you're like,
So right now, because I was gonna say is that I played against CSM. They have the cultist spam, right, where they can put like the cultists in no man's. They can infiltrate them, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I played against them with the Tesseract Vault list that I was showing you, Ulyss, with the 3 Doomsday Arcs and Silent King. And he got first defender, so he got to deploy on the line. And I told him, I was like, if I go first, I'm tabling you. Like I had like the Void Dragon, the Tesseract Vault, and like everything else, right? And he ended up like going second. And I remember I picked up like half of his army turn 1s of the Vault. The Vault alone picked up like 40 cultists. So like the Vault alone is going to pick up like.
When we had the 3-inch, I was running 2 vaults and a monolith. It was a very fun list. Yeah. So it was.
Yeah, vaults will be really good in this like meta too, because like a lot of like for example the death cards. Yeah, the meteor is good against elite infantry, and then you have the regular infantry. It's the only thing they struggle against is tanks. So,
dude, the Tesla,
and don't play them on WTC terrain.
That Tesla is gonna be what picks up those units, though. The Tesla will pick up like a 20-man, maybe not religiously.
It's 24 shots, I think, right? Or
24 shots
with double sustained 6s.
It's strength 7 Tesla. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strength 7 Tesla, double sustained 6s, and if you have the Silent King nearby, it's rerolling.
The rerolls, yeah.
Yeah. So and then his flamer is 3d6 at 18-inch range.
Yeah. I mean, you run that every round with the meteor.
Don't forget, you have the flat 6 damage anti-character shot.
Dude, that
thing's funny.
They're like, wait, what? What are you doing?
Yeah,
is it precision too? It is too, right?
Yeah, it has precision, and it's anti-character flats on a 4-up flat 6, and it actually for some reason hits better too. It hits on 2s,
and it's
flat 6 dev wounds. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you could just be like, take flat 6, Morty, like.
Yeah, no, and so like it's actually really good against like things like Magnus, because Magnus can't like deaden the 0 because it's dev wounds.
Yeah.
And it's like so like it's a lot of fun. Sometimes it's even like a better than shooting your strength 10 shot into like character knights. You're just like, well, screw it, a 4-up this to do 6 wounds, you know.
Yeah.
But
I will say. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I got quite a few games in with the vaults. The double vaults are interesting. I did try one RTT with 3 vaults, and I will say that does not work. You clog up too much to the table. It doesn't work as much as you might want it to. But the other thing too, when you run 2 of them, like all of a sudden that's 2d6 plus 6, right, on the big shots. That's indirect. So like the idea of like 2 vaults and Silent King gets really interesting, because then your indirect's hitting on 4s but still rerolling 1s, and like it's you'll just pick up
pummeling, dude. Yeah, you'll kill 8-bound like crazy.
Yeah. So
or is the play to run 20 warriors with infiltrate and canoptic court? Just be like, hey, let me take away your entire army premise and just run like immortals.
You could do both.
Can you imagine if you played that with the Poxwalker list, and you're able to take up the entire table?
There was a guy that like I thought ran like there wasn't a canoptic court list that even like put, or is it just obeisance that put the Tesseract Vaults in it?
No, that was what's his name? Is it Fredrickson or something like that? I forgot his last name, but he ran the Vault. It was like the Vault 18 Scarabs. No, it had 18 Wraiths. I know it had 18 Wraiths, the Vault, and I think it did have 18 Scarabs. and he won like a 33-34 or something like that. Man, GT somewhere over in my area, not my area, but like my hemisphere,
general vicinity.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I guess since we're talking about Hypercrypt, I mean, after this tournament, we're gonna shelf the warrior list for a wee bit, and spoiler alert, we're gonna be messing around with some Hypercrypt stuff. I got some cool ideas and some shatter, some star shatter.
I think that is the privilege of being like in this little hive mind of us four's little chat room, right?
Mhm.
And Steven Rhoda, you're welcome, because we just sit there, we just spam a list, and we're like, all right, what do we want to run? We say, all right,
we got options. We got options.
Yeah, so it's gonna be great because we're gonna be able to build together and figure out what works and what doesn't work. So.
I mean, I still think even with this new stuff coming out, the warrior list is still just so strong. I mean, it's just
for teams, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I really think in singles. I mean, I'll get some rest like the new stuff, but I still think it's a very strong combo.
If you pair,
I think the only downside of the Warriors is there's a few lists that I feel like you lose hard to, and maybe I'm wrong, but like your CSM, like that's when I'm like, if it's the right kind of CSM list, not all CSM lists, obviously,
yeah.
There's, if they have like the Cursed Cultist plus like Possessed, all of a sudden you can't,
and the Chosen,
you can't body them. Yeah, you can't body them. Yeah, and Chosen, like you can't body them off the objectives as well as you'd like to, and then you start losing. I don't know. I'm nervous. There are some lists for the Warriors that are just difficult. I mean, obviously you guys are doing well with them. And the problem is if you have like 3 or 4 counters and you're trying to win 5 or 6 games in a row, it's tough to not face one of those matchups.
For sure.
So I mean that's the only issue, but I mean you guys are doing really well with them. I think one of you guys is gonna win a good sized tournament with them here probably soon, because I think you guys, the more reps you guys are getting.
I don't know. I think that we auto lose in the Green Tide. It's just too many bodies that can kill us, and they kill and stuff. I think we lose into, if they run Berserker unit of 20 and we don't have enough to really kill that and the other stuff, we lose that, because a 10-man with characters kills the warrior brick almost. So a 20-man is just double that, right? Death Guard, I don't think so. Especially Poxwalkers, I don't think it's going to do it, especially if you have the Overlord to move over stuff, right? Now, turn 1, it might be a little bit annoying if you don't have flayed ones, but just bring some flayed ones. And then other than that, CSM, like you mentioned, and Black Templar, interestingly enough, if they run a 20-man with like, what's his name, Hellbrick or whatever his name is, that's also a really bad matchup.
They don't exist anymore right now, though. Like, let's be real. Like, you're not going to see a Black Templar in the wild.
There's a couple players, man. There's a couple players.
Man,
we got 41 people up in here. This is like peak viewership. Appreciate y'all being in here, guys. Appreciate it. Just hanging out, talking some Crons. I mean, do we have any? How are we doing on time? Are we doing good? Do we have any closing thoughts?
I'm good.
Y'all, or anything else
I feel
top
like
of
your
mind?
warrior list, you win or lose a lot of times before you play the game, depending on the list.
I still think you win like 85 to 90% of the time. Like I feel like your list is favored in most of your matchups.
Yeah, I mean it covers the meta pretty darn good right now.
I will say like too, like once you get up to like, I never go into a game now where I think I'm just gonna lose, except for the Custode game, because it was Purge and it was TTS. I didn't care. But it's really rare where I go into a game and I'm like, I'm gonna lose. Do I go into a game stressed or like have anxiety? Yeah. But with the warrior brick, it's kind of like, you're like, we say Green Tide should auto win, right? Well, the Green Tide player also needs to be competent and like know how to beat our list, right? And sometimes those players
and not fail a 5-inch charge.
Yeah, like just because they're running the meta, or running not even the meta, but runs what counters our list, they don't know that. We just know that because we know our army, right? We don't tell them that. We're not like, man, you're gonna beat me. No, you say, this is gonna be a good game. Good luck.
Plus, you don't want to be the guy that like before the game is like, oh yeah, man, I don't have a chance against you, and then you win. Ooh.
Or you win
then
big.
you feel like a
that's
dick.
that's
Yeah.
the worst.
Then you feel like a dick, and you're like, "Oh,
I was
sorry."
telling you guys the entire game when against like a code play. I was like, I'm losing this. I'm losing this.
Yeah, you don't want to be telling them.
Man.
I felt bad for my GT game because I kind of went into that. I was like, I think your list is favored into me in the death card, and ultimately I tabled him with only losing my Scarab unit. I was like, oh, okay, well that didn't quite go as planned, but yeah.
Dang,
but that it helps though when Reanimator like survives with 1 wound and then like heals.
He always survives with 1 wound, dude.
Illuminor decided, like I said, he decided to punk Morty. So like there's things that definitely went in my favor to make that happen. And then he failed an 8-inch charge that would have hurt. But
you also learned that you can't have warriors 2.1 inches away, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, that was a little bit other than that, it was a good game. But I've been getting some more practice into different stuff with the hyper, which is just making me more confident with it too. So
I need you guys to start playing another army so that way we can continue practicing with each other, but not playing mirror matchups. I'm the only one here that seems to play another army, which is annoying.
You guys have we actually played? Have any of you guys played the warrior versus warrior matchup? Because that would be hilarious to stream.
No, it would not.
Oh, God.
It would not be fun.
That was like the most uncomfortable game ever.
I already know Kylan is my daddy. I'm not gonna play him.
I'll play literally.
Everybody in stream right now. It's just vote.
I
want the warrior versus warrior stream game.
Yeah, my God, I want to play Tyranids. That's definitely I think gonna be my second army for sure at some point.
Should.
So yeah.
And I can hook you up with a good starting list with my boy. So
yeah, definitely Tyranid. I think probably in the next like fall winter time is when we'll start building and hobbying that because definitely don't got the time going into the summer now. But
he hears me talking about how much I hate Tyranids, so he's like, I'm gonna run Tyranids.
Yeah, we're gonna be running some Tyranids. Well, we don't have any Tyranid players on the team really, so that's the main reason too.
Finished in the top 10. If you send me a list that's finished in the top 10 of a GT painted, I'll play it.
Of Tyranids?
Of anything.
Probably needs to be a major. I wouldn't say like you need
so I saw someone earlier mention that we haven't
like let's say 40 people.
Well, I mentioned someone mentioned that I saw someone mention that we haven't.
Because I'm still getting an army this way, dude.
The Walter list.
Steven's
been playing the Walter list, and Steven, you said that you were what, like 8-0 with the war? I
got Griff's Tyranids, man. Let's go.
I was like 3 or 4-0 with the Psychomancers, and then it all started going wrong, dude.
Who was your first loss?
I think it was you.
That's right.
Why you gotta expose them like that, man? Why you gotta do that?
That's where it all started getting wrong. No, so Gilliman's still cursing. That's what it is, because no one's failed a battle shock ever since Gilliman's aura of reroll battle shocks. No one's failed a battle shock against me since.
Dude, you know what's interesting? I haven't run into Vect really yet. Like, I can't remember the last time I've run into it.
It's missing now, yeah.
Yeah,
and
like
Vect
nobody's running
Vect
it.
is rough for us. So it not being out there is great. Cypher still runs around in those creations bio lists, though. That guy.
That's true.
Yeah.
That
Again,
guy
CSM.
makes me mad every time. He makes me mad every time that he gets his pistols in melee, and then I'm just like, why doesn't Hexmark? It just makes me angry every time.
My wife is like stalking me from my door right now. It's really creepy.
Oh dang, I like it. That's cool.
Close my door. I'm naked.
Only from the bottom half.
I need my privacy.
He's Winnie Poohing it.
Winnie Poohing it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yes.
Psychomancers are they're not bad, dude. They're not bad. They give you agency that you don't normally have access to.
We
so
can't
that's really
say
nice.
they're bad. We cannot say they're bad.
You see this, boys? You can't play nerd games and have wives.
So it sounds like I need to get a T-Vault, is what you're saying.
Yes, I think so. I think T-Vaults are the way. I don't even know why I stopped playing it, besides the fact that Star Shatter came out. I think that was really it. Star Shatter came out. We were all hyped on Star Shatter, and then it got pooped on.
I also think they can fit in like every list. Like that's the nice thing about them too.
You could run 1 vault and 3 obelisks, dude. That would be so many Tesla shots.
They have deep strike, right?
We've talked about obelisks. Like that's something that's been percolating with our like mean game, especially like
does the T-Vault doesn't have deep strike?
Points cut.
With 300 points each too, and it's 24 Teslas. So you have the Silent King nearby. You're just like, hey, here's like 100 Teslas with double sustain, all re-rolling the hit, all reroll in the wound, and then we have 2 men here, and that's still you still have like 500 points left. No, you don't, not at all. You
well,
like
and then the obelisk still gives you the and then it's also the half advance move and charge.
That's really funny.
It's
good.
It's not that far off. Like at 300 points for its durability profile, some shots, and then it's getting close. Like it's not that far off that it's going to have to start legitimately being a thought process. I think it's at 300 right now, somewhere in that like 275 range. Gets kind of a little bit more interesting. So
yeah,
I didn't know the T-Vault. I thought it had deep strike, but it doesn't.
No, the T-Vault doesn't.
The T-Vault doesn't, unfortunately.
Obelisk does, right?
That makes things a little more complicated trying to do a
the
boom
T-Vault
boom turn.
does because you use the hypercrypt strat on it and you put it right there where you need it.
But you also might need to use it on the Silent King though, because that also doesn't have deep strike.
No. You have him up front. You have the three obelisks, and you move.
Oh,
forward.
You're talking about the obelisk. Okay.
Yeah. And then, so just so everybody understands, because we like to talk about rules here. If you don't have deep strike, you can't come down turn 1 unless you use the strat. And so you pick up the obelisk and the Tesseract Vault. You come down with the Tesseract Vault, the obelisk. The other 2 obelisks are moving forward, and then the Silent King runs forward, and then you're just like pew 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 pew. Just
you're like
there's obelisk for 300
saves at AP0. They're like, what?
Yeah. The obelisk at 300 points though, it ain't worth it.
And run the stalker.
It's not worth it yet.
Stalker, so you take away cover save.
It's getting there, Kylan. It's not there yet, but like 260, I think starts to get really interesting. 265.
Look,
just from the defense, think of it. It's still
brick list is a meme list.
Is it T13? Is the obelisk T13?
I think it is.
It is T13. You are.
Does it have an invuln?
No, it loses the invuln because it doesn't have its 10.
Run a spider.
Yeah.
You just need
yeah, and a spider. Yeah, it's got the little.
You probably run like 3 technomancers by themselves, just like just like running across the board.
I think there could be a universe where you run the technomancer with just 3 wraiths, also. Just to make
imagine
it
imagine the canoptic wraith list that counter moves to 6 inches, and then that unit also has half movement and charge, and like the wraiths are immune to be charged.
So yeah, Kylan, the obelisk. What is it? Is it minus
half move?
Is it half move?
Half move and charge,
half advance, and half charging.
Oh yeah, so it double
every time you make a move, or if you have the fly keyword, every time you make a move.
It does some mortals, yeah.
Is the obelisk anti-fly as well for the Teslas?
Yeah, anti-fly 4-up, sustain 2.
Dude,
yeah.
Imagine going to the demons. Imagine going to demons and being like.
Here's what you could do. I think if it was less points, is you could use it as like a potential primary piece because it's like arguably like almost more durable than Ray's being a T13 profile for like 300 points. And that's OC8 and it's a big footprint. So you could basically just block the whole objective marker with it and say, what do you want to do about it?
Yeah.
And it's only a 300 point investment. So it's like a little bit more than or about the same as Wraith unit.
It gets interesting. Like I said, it probably needs another point drop, but at some point it gets very interesting. It's getting there closer. I will say this too. The other cool thing about the vaults is because of the way they're just under like the 5-inch threshold for their height. So they can do some weird, like if someone tries to block you out on an objective, they can just charge over the top of them. Like basically the holes can sit over them, so they're above the objective. Yeah. So
I every time I've played it, they've done it 5 inches, so that way, like when you measure, it's like up to there. They have to charge like to this length.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that because they're below 5 inches, they can still like hold the objective, right?
You can still hold the objective.
Yeah. So here's the question: if they charge from this angle, would they charge to like this, or would they have to go to the base that's not underneath this little arm?
I think they get the choice to like go either way, but like the nice part though is that if they're underneath the base, there's a rule for it that is considered base to base, so they can't pile in any further.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Griffin.
So like wherever they land, they're just like locked.
Mm-hmm.
So on the because I had that come up with my my Thunderwolf or the stupid Space Wolf game. And he charged it, and then he needed to pile in a little bit deeper so he can get more units in, but he couldn't because the lead Thunderwolf was underneath the hole. And there is a rule in like a find it for us later. But like, there's a rule that says that on stuff where in that scenario, you're considered base to base.
So the Tesseract Vault has quicksand basically underneath it. It's all
basically, yeah. Which again, it's also really funny too when you rapid ingress a Nightbringer underneath him. So like someone is charging to the Obelisk, and you're already like halfway inside of the guy, or not the Obelisk, but the Vault. Yeah.
Do you think I beat you? Would I beat your mirror, Ulyss?
Yeah.
If I was running this list.
If you're running the Vault instead of the 2 monoliths, no, I think the monoliths beat the Vault because
no, like the monolith 3 obelisks and the Silent King versus because I'm assuming
you kill the warriors, but I think I deplete your big assets faster.
Yeah, I don't think you have enough damage.
Yeah, because even the Vault, like that's the biggest problem. The Vault is because, like I said, I ran the Vault quite a bit. The problem was anything T11 and higher. You're just not doing enough. Like the Tesla shots are cool, but they don't do enough into those scenarios because
the particle whips are unironically gonna rip you apart, dude.
When they're wounding on 5s and then they're saving on 3s or better, so like again, if we go into heavy body meta, the Vaults are amazing, but if you're in a heavy tank meta, they fall off a little bit.
So what I'm hearing is for teams, the obelisks might be the way for the future.
There might be some cool, yeah. I mean, you could like, can you imagine 3 obelisks and the world eaters, and they're just like half your armies basically.
Schmitty, what's up, man?
Steven, for the next round of our league, you should run 3 obelisks in the sun.
No, you just run it. I'll play something else. I'll play like I'll figure something out, dude. I'll play like some Blood Angels.
Dude, how much is the T-Vault kit? Is like $200?
200.
Yeah.
Steven,
No, it's less than the monolith. The monolith's like 285 or something now, and I think it is like randomly cheaper. I think it's like 150 or 160.
Went to my first ever tournament after picking up Necrons, and I've learned so much from all of you. Awesome, man. We're happy to help.
Yeah.
We're 4.
Dude, glad you're here, man.
Played 6 and had some awesome.
Yo, let's go,
that's
man.
Your first tournament, that's really good.
That's actually crazy.
That's like really good.
That's awesome, man. Good stuff.
I think
all the way from Hong Kong he's at, or overseas.
It's all Ulyss. Post your list so we know what you ran.
So don't do well with the T-Vault, so that way I don't have to buy one.
Nerfed.
Yeah.
I don't have to buy one.
Or I start running the real GOAT list, which is, hear me out, the Deceiver, 5 Ghost Arcs.
I want to see the parking lot list. Like I said, back in I think it was 8th edition or 9th edition, I ran 13 arcs, and that was hilarious. So everyone called it the parking lot list. I think 5. You should run 5 Ghost Arcs and 3 DDAs if you can. I think that would be hilarious. That'd be amazing.
I feel like I would play one round of it, like one turn, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Imagine in teams, like it would be such annoying.
What would you like pair into it? Like what traditional army would you pair into that? Like what would you be like? Okay, I'll take them.
Just look at anything.
Foxwalkers, right? Because I had a 10-man flayed one in this list, right? So you string them across as far as possible, and if you don't get to, who cares? You just auto advance your Ghost Arc over those things, and then you shoot them with all your Goss. Like it's like what, out of 5 of them, it's 100 Goss shots. Not to mention you can have some warriors get out and shoot something. Oh, and I have Tomb Blades that get blast with particle beamers. So like I would vaporize Poxwalkers. The only problem though is that like Poxwalkers are so cheap that we're kind of forgetting the fact that like, they have
still have other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are other things.
So probably 300 points away for Mortarion. So like 1,100 points, they're gonna have a Rhino, and then they're gonna have Plague Marines, and the 2 characters give them fight first and critical hits. So you're really at like 500 points. 600.
I think they lost the fight first. I think I saw people complaining about that.
The Putrefy or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not 100%, but I think I saw people talking about that. So, but it's okay. They have like T8 freaking like Plague Marines, which is insane to me.
Schmitty, I saw Art of War's video this morning talking about Walter. Shout out Walter again.
Yeah, buddy.
And they called his.
No, they all disappeared again. Hold on one sec, guys. We're just gonna get everybody back here. It's gonna be just fine. Okay. We just blinked. We just blinked. That's
So
it.
they called Walter's Scorpekh Lord with a Philopane the Scorpekh King, right? That's perfect. That's what he is. He's the Scorpekh King, and the rest of the Scorpekh Lords are just peasants.
That's why, yeah, my guy, my
It's great.
Scorpekh
It's
Lord,
great.
he has like, I have the 4-up feel no pain guy. He has like I like modeled him, so I took his little like, I have like the one gun just like waving up here, which like looks really dumb that it's just like up here. So I like cut it off and I like put it on his like claw hand, so he has a wrist blaster. And so yeah, I always introduce him to everyone. I was like, yeah, he has the 4-up feel no pain because he has a wrist blaster, and wrist blasters are tight. So that's how you know. And no one's ever forgotten it because wrist blasters are tight, dude.
If he did Chowzilla, I didn't notice it. I should have noticed it. He was talking to me and Kylan, but
you should Steven, you should have yours have a headband on it for your
I need to start doing that.
Actually, hey, we did have one viewer question on the thing here that I actually wanted to get to. So he played a game against Holocrete Admech at an RTT last weekend, and a unit of Electro priests jumping out of a Dune Rider with lethal, sustain 2, crit 5s, rolling 1s to hit, demolish the warriors turn 1.
Dude, those guys at LVO, they got my Wraith brick, and I was like, holy shit! Like I got lucky that they didn't die. Like
he did 61 wounds. He said,
"Yeah,
what's the unit?
Yeah, those guys are wild. The Electro priest dudes, they have little stabbing tasers, and then they have a fuckload of attacks."
Well, unfortunately, this is why I really love GW is I don't have this codex because I can
pull it up for you real quick. Let me
I
remember those guys because I almost lost my round 1 to those guys. I was like, wait, what's happening to me right now?
I mean, it's more or less the same combo with freaking the 10 Gene Stealers with Broodlore because it's like sustain 2 crit 5s and then rerolls. Yeah. So it's just like
and I really like in those matchups, those are some of the few matchups where maybe you do have to be more aggressive with like an Illuminor or something else to try and force the bait.
That's what I'm saying. Like usually, like you find what that unit is and you just target it. We don't have monoliths, but like
I don't know if Ordinary, if he's still watching, but like the biggest way to combat this is one pregame question where like Daniel and I were always asking like, hey, where are your high volume attacks at? Whether that's like in melee and shooting, and what does that look like? What strats like support that, so we can kind of do the math in our head ahead of time. Be like, okay, this is a unit that I absolutely need to either kind of ignore for a little bit or figure out how to handle them. Yeah. And usually how you do that, depending on the layout, is you're definitely not like, I know you guys see a lot of like my battle reports. You're not swinging the warriors out wide turn 1 against something like that because they're going to be like, cool, thank you for giving me the warriors like on a silver platter. You have to think of it like how you're going to limit surface area. And what I mean by that is you're trying to stage the warriors behind a wall to either limit line of sight, or also you're setting up some sort of overwatch threat because that unit is only as powerful as if they're at full strength. So this is where hex marks really come in clutch, where even in matchups like this, like I'll play my hex marks a lot more aggressively, where I'll deploy one where I know where that unit's going to go and set up an overwatch, or I'll ingress one in to set up like either like a double overwatch where it could be super nasty. So like in those matchups, if they have a shooting threat, I'll usually play the hex marks like a lot more aggressively. But like Daniel and I said, there's numerous units out there in the meta that can just one-shot it. So if they do have that, you definitely have to approach the game very differently. So
did you send me the data sheet? I just wanted to see what
I don't, dude. I think they get like buffs on buffs because like the data, was it the Corpus Scari ones or the Fulgurite ones? Corpus Scari.
There's one that's better. There's one that's better in close combat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the Fulgurite?
Yeah.
Once upon a time,
Corpus Scari because they have more hits. But they have sustained 2, 3 hits. They're only 130 points. I think they get buffed up by a bunch of stuff too. Because I think they can like crit on 5s or something. So they get like 1 billion hits because my rates like almost died. And I was like, what? Like I was like, wait, what's going on? But like I've said this a lot before too. Like there's every unit out there.
AP2
like
or AP1?
I don't know.
Okay.
Cool. But every unit out there like that can like kind of threaten one of your bricks. Like the trick is like Kylan was saying, taking a few models off of it, because I use this term a lot: combat ineffective, or like unable to deliver lethal damage. And once you've reached that point, then your unit can disrespect that unit, and that's like super important. It's like the sooner you can get to that, the better, because then you have like a lot more like control over the board, because you're like.
Yeah.
Until then, you're like, I can't go near this unit with my Wraiths because I don't want him to get blown up. I want him to have to come to me, and vice versa. So yeah, the sooner you like you were saying with the hex mark is like perfect for picking off those single model or single wound like units like elves and stuff like that. So
Right.
if even shipping like 1 or 2 models off can change.
Dang, it's just apologize, guys. I don't know what the dealio is.
I think
So-
it's YouTube's telling us.
It just
Yeah.
blips and it's
So
gone.
ordinary.
I don't know if it's a YouTube thing, but
Let me know when we're back. I need to ask
we're
ordinary.
back.
question.
We're back.
Ordinary is so their ability is electroshock. In your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, select one enemy unit, excluding monsters, vehicles hit by that one or more of those attacks until the end of the opponent's next turn. That enemy unit is shocked. While a unit is shocked, subtract 2 from the move characteristics and subtract 2 from the advance and charge rolls made for it. Is that the right unit?
He just went off on it. The stratagem gives them crit 5s, transport gives them reroll, like wound reroll, and the character gives them lethals. And they hit on 2s. So yeah, dude, I was like, I know this unit. Like I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's fine, and then it goes
3s.
crazy. Yeah,
But they hit on 3s to 4s. What gives them +1 to hit? What gives them +2 to hit?
When
Because
they're in
you're-
Conquer,
Your
Yeah.
warrior is gonna be. Is that like their army ability?
yeah. They just have like they can just like give themselves like +1 save or +1 attack to hit.
And
I
maybe
just-
weapon
I don't-
skill even. I don't know.
I don't know if the wounds up to 60 make sense to me, right? Because it's 10
he said
models.
he said he rolled like pretty hot.
They can
Yeah,
also
I
shoot
mean, I'm
and
honest,
charge
yeah.
you.
With their army roll, they get +1 ballistic skill.
Yeah.
So is it +1 ballistic skill?
Yeah.
And +1 to hit?
Yeah, because they can stack it like Death Guard with a minus
What gives them the +1 to hit?
Conqueror.
Is that a?
I think it's like a
Also,
stance.
I'm not questioning you. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
get.
they're
an
still like
idea of
they're
what
still like
the armor-
re-rolling everything with like sustained 2s on 5s. Like so they still just like rip
But
a
they're
billion
only
hits.
12 inches. They're 3 shots each, right? 12 inches.
Yep.
So
Oh.
like what we were saying earlier, right? If you have 1 hex mark, it ruins this unit entirely.
And if they're
right?
within 12, a lot of times if they need the full shots, like the Warriors are also somewhat of a decent Overwatch threat. I mean, you would need a lot of them though, but again, when you're spreading those Warriors out wide, it's really going to limit your Overwatch potential versus if you have them all tucked behind a wall and they need to get that line and they drop in, you're going to get a lot more Warriors off that Overwatch than if you had them like all spread out. So
yeah.
Just there's ways to combat it. I mean, it's not ideal, obviously, but you definitely have to play it differently for sure.
But this is also like why we wanted to do this, right? Is to talk about what the meta is, talk about what our weaknesses are and how we counter them. And so like it's awesome that you brought this up because it's like there is a couple of armies that I don't want to go into in general, right? Tyranids, Votan, and Admech because they have a lot of anti-infantry. But I
no
think
Votan this weekend actually either. No Votan armies.
Oh wow,
That's good.
Votan's
That's good for you.
I mean, it depends, right? Because Votan's one of those armies where I feel like if you do play them right now in the meta, it's because you love Votan, not because you're really good at the game. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying,
Votan are good, dude.
Yeah,
Votan are good,
so
but
good.
I haven't noticed many good like high top end table
Yeah.
players playing Votan. Is what I'm saying.
We've got one on the West Coast junior.
So Protector gives +1 both skill and +1 heavy. Well, if they got out of the transport, they can't be heavy
Yeah, they count as
because
one.
it's considered making a move.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, if you were very drunk, that is fair.
Yeah, like I said, that unit's because I like looked at its data sheet and I was like, whatever. And then like it hit me and I was like, what's happening, dude?
So this is what I'm saying though.
Classic.
If it's 30 attacks, to get 30 attacks to 60 wounds, right? That means you have to
I mean, like probably 12 or 14 sustained ish.
More than that, because especially if you're not hitting on twos. Let's say you are hitting on twos.
He said he rolled hot though too. So I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, it's sustained too.
Immortals and Awaken have like 180% hit rate, so it's not too, like it. Those kind of rates.
I will not do that.
Yeah. We'll just as UKTC it. You know, it's UKTC, guys.
Yeah.
You know, this reminds me of? It reminds me of the 40 attacks that got swung into me in my GT game.
No, these guys hurt, dude.
No, so the best thing was
these guys hurt.
9th edition Flayed Ones had a 200-point unit had a capacity of 200 attacks. I don't think we've seen anything beside like that. Like that's still to this day.
Oh yeah, the Flayed Ones.
Combo. Yeah, 5 attacks each, attacking twice.
Yeah, them being strength 5 is really dumb too. Like why is that a thing? Right? Here's the thing: they have
the warrior guy says, "Why is strength 5 a thing? Just delete strength 5 from the game, please."
What's it 2, right? So it's AP 0. So here's another question for you: Did you?
Do you have thralls?
I highly suggest a lot of you people run if you are running the warrior brick. Okay, most armies only have 1 to 2 things that can really kill the warrior brick, especially in shooting. Usually, it's always in combat, right? Do not be afraid to use a CP for go to ground unless they have ignore cover. All right. Because this right here would be wounding your warriors have a 3-up save. So now the wounds for average is no longer needing, 52 wounds and 1 activation. Now it's like 60 something. And next time I would just watch what he's rolling and just kind of slow him down a little bit. I do wonder how he was hitting you on 2s because his stat sheet or whatever is hitting you on 3s. So +1 to hit ballistic skill would be hitting you on 2s, yes, but then -1 back to 3s because of the stealth enhancement. But yeah, no, I believe it happened. I'm not saying anyone's lying. It's just here's some ideas to counter it.
Are you just saying the go to ground strat just in case he was like in the open, then he can still save on 3s with the warriors too, more or less?
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget the warriors can go down to 3s, like if you're against AP 0.
Yes,
like that's something a lot of people forget that because it's just the assumption that you can't improve beyond, but the only rule is you can't improve beyond 3+.
3+, yeah.
Yeah, so I get people call me on that sometimes with the warriors as well. It's like, oh no, they're now 3-up saves.
Oh, he forgot stealth.
Oh yeah, dude. Remembering your defensive rules is really important.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah,
I've done.
Well,
that.
you were drunk, so I mean, at least you're having fun.
You're admitting that,
Who cares?
Next time it's not gonna happen. Next time
I did that in my Custodes game too when he swung into the Silent King, and I was like, oh no, I was like, did he just die? He just took like 12 damage. Then I was sitting there, I was like, do I re-roll this? And I was like looking at it for like a minute. I was like, oh wait, no, he's -1 damage. And he was like, "Ah, fuck!" And I was like, "Yeah." He's
also, don't read into it too much because I feel like looking back to like the tournaments over the last year, I feel like 3/4 of them, I always lose round 3 if it's like a 2-day turn because like it's the 3rd round of the day, and my brain is just kind of fried, and you're just not as sharp, and that's usually when dumb mistakes can happen. So don't read into it too much.
Yeah. I'm always rough in my first game of the day too, because usually I'm like traveling to the East Coast, so that like early morning start is like, oh.
Yeah. I have to drive 9 hours tomorrow, or like 8, like that. But like,
you gotta get sleep. You gotta rest up, man. Get some sleep.
This is my rest. Rest is for the week.
Wow. But you're saying my my voice just soothes you to sleep. It calms you down.
You ever see those commercials where it's like it's on Facebook and it's like, I am going to speak and talk to you to sleep, right? It's like the woman with like the little mic or whatever. That's what Kylan is for me. It's just like, hey, today on PNW 40K.
Tell me more, man. Tell me more. Well, I guess, man, this has been a freaking fantastic episode. I have some good news and I have some bad news. And the bad news is, unfortunately, I am going to be traveling over the next 2 weeks after this tournament. So I am going to be gone. And unfortunately, I am like the tech hub of like setting all of this up. And so we have to basically have 2 weeks off of Only Crons podcast, as pain as me to say that, but we might try to release something early next week, just to keep you guys have something. But we're not going anywhere. That's the good news. We will be back middle of May Only Crons episode 5. We'll figure out a cool topic. Maybe World Eaters and Death Guard will be out by then, so we'll have plenty to talk about. Maybe some reps in it. And I know we're all going to be probably playing some different lists, so that'll be cool too. So
we'll also have a recap of your event. And
we'll have the recap. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So super excited. I don't know, any closing remarks, Daniel, before we log off here?
My only one is to people like Ordinary, right? Don't let your mess ups bring you down. You know, I learned, like I've said before, from my losses, just don't let your warrior brick die to stuff like that, and don't ever forget you have stealth. So you go do.
And it could be worse. You could have heroic intervened them into termies on stream. So
yeah, always worse.
Or forgot that Illuminor dying does not get affected by Vect. I mean, we all have those days.
Yeah.
This is true.
Or charge the fight first unit and then just die. Did that the other day.
Steven, Ulyss, any closing thoughts before we cap it off, cap the night off here?
Oh man, I just hope you have safe travels and have a good time out there.
Yeah,
appreciate you. Be good. It'll be a good time. All of you that are competing this weekend, got some tournaments coming up, some practice games. Good luck. Have some fun. Remember, always make sure you and your opponent are operating with the same level of gotchas. If I could talk notches. Wow, I don't even know what am I even saying.
I want nachos.
Yeah, that's what I was probably thinking of. That does really sound really good right now, man.
We should operate with nachos while we're playing games.
Nachos and Warhammer, man. Oh, it's good. But yeah, always give your opponent a friendly, good, open information game. That's what makes the competitive community much better. So, anyways, yeah, if all stuck around, appreciate y'all watching, and until